I told you there was one easy thing you could teach your dog to help stop 90% of unwanted behaviors from jumping, lunging, barking, counter surfing, or even pulling on leash? And that one thing I'm going to teach is the place cue using this bed right here. In fact, whether your dog is 8 weeks old or 8 years old, the place cue is one of the very first things I teach any and every dog, because it gives our dog a place to go to instead of doing or acting out on the behavior that we don't want. It also helps sharpen and refine their impulse control. Let's work on the place cue with Marlo. This is my foster puppy. She is a puppy mill survivor, meaning she had a very tragic first 6 months of her life, and I want to show you real time with a dog who does not know place cue yet. The place cue is simply when I ask my dog to go to a place, whatever that spot is. While they're on the place cue, they can do whatever they want as long as they're not jumping up, barking, whining, crying, but they can lay down, they can sit, they could be chewing on a chew bone if I give them one. They could be playing with a toy on there if I give them one. They can be laying on their side. They can have one paw kind of hanging off. To me, I don't care as long as they stay on there, they're quiet, and they don't get off until they're released. Now, how do we teach this? The best part is you don't need anything fancy to do this. All I have for tools are some treats in my treat pouch, this treat pouch. You could even use their food. One of my favorite times to work on this is during mealtime and feed them their food as their reward. And then whatever you want to be their place. Again, I'll go into detail what that means in a moment. This could be a towel, a dog bed, an elevated bed. It could be a crate. It could be a blanket. But the way that I like to teach most anything new to my dogs is by giving them the opportunity to do the behavior that I want on their own instead of trying to force it or ask them to do it. And then I reward them for making that good decision. Oftentimes I've learned that dogs learn quickest and it sticks the most and the fastest in their mind. When they have the opportunity to be successful or do the activity I want, and then I just reinforce that by rewarding them. What this looks like in the beginning is I will stand next to the place item and I wait quietly. Obviously I'm recording for you, but generally I just wait quietly. I don't lure them, and I'm waiting for her to go on the place mat or the place bed on her own without me asking. And what I'll do is as she gets onto it, as she's stepping onto it, that's when I'm gonna mark that with my marker cue, which is YES, and immediately follow that with a treat. So all I'm doing here is just standing and waiting. That's how simple this is. Now there is a bit of patience involved, and that's okay. And if your dog is laying next to it, that's fine. We're not gonna punish, we're not gonna reprimand, we're just gonna wait quietly. Now, if your puppy is like Marlo and they're not going on the bed, one thing you can do is kind of move around the bed a little bit, like so. So then it's gonna, yes, good girl. And I know she doesn't have all three on yet, but we're just rewarding the action of going on. And as she stays on the bed, I'm gonna continue rewarding. And you see what I did there to get her to go on? I didn't lure her on, I simply walked to the other side of the bed, and then to get to me, and I have the treats, the value, yes. And as I'm gonna slowly progress the difficulty of this, which some dogs, this next step could take several days, I'm just gonna step back a step, and then come right back, yes. So she's starting to get the message that, okay, even if mom steps back a little bit and comes right back, it doesn't mean, yes, good girl, I was slow on that. It doesn't mean that I need to get up and follow her. In fact, I got rewarded by staying in the DOWN position or the SIT position on this mat, yes, while she stepped away. Now, the key with any training with my dogs is I always want to set them up for success, yes. Meaning that I don't want to push the duration or the longevity of the practice session too long to where then they start to make mistakes, because then they're not going to learn quickly. So I keep these really short and always positive. So she stayed on here well enough, so I'm going to go ahead and free. And she was not going to know what the FREE means in the beginning, but when she gets off, good girl, yeah. The key is I can give her verbal praise, but I do not give her a treat when she gets off the bed. All treats or food is given on the bed. See how she, yes, good girl. You see how she offered the behavior of going back on? That's what we're looking for. Good girl. Now, here's my trick with rewarding after my dog makes a mistake. This is just what works for my dogs best. is you saw there she made a mistake. It wasn't her fault, it was mine. I went too far, too fast. That's gonna happen and that's okay. So what I did is I got her back on the bed without saying words, without luring her. I just stood by it. When she got on, I gave her the marker QYES, but you'll notice I did not follow that with a treat because I don't want her to make the association as we practice this and get more advanced that when she gets off, she gets me to come back, which can be rewarding for a dog, and then she's gonna get a treat. What I want her to learn is, okay, when I get off the bed, I do get a little bit of a reward when mom comes back close to me. That is a little pleasing to me, but I didn't get a treat. That was weird. But when she steps away and then she comes back and I didn't get off the bed and she steps away again and comes back, yes, and I stayed on the bed, I got the treat and I got mom to be near me. I got double whammy positives. And that is how we reinforce, yes, this. Now for the most important part, I'm going to show you exactly how the place cue can help stop your dog from jumping up, pulling on leash, and even excessive barking. But first, we have to do an unboxing because we just got a package in the mail and I'm not going to make Marlo wait to open her BarkBox toys. Big shout out to BarkBox for sponsoring this part of the video. These are a monthly toy subscription box where it's a different theme every single month, which is why I love it. And I want to show you how we work on Drop It as well as 2 enrichment activities. Anytime I have the opportunity to have something new and exciting happen in her day, I'm going to take advantage of that. And what I love about the BarkBox toys is they have a lot of different textures, sounds, and sensations. My favorite thing to do is to take her favorite treats, or you could take kibble, put them at the bottom of her box, and then put her brand new toys on top of it so she gets to sniff, dig, and forage it out. This is highly enriching for her, especially because the toys are different every month, and this alone helps build confidence. And another thing we love doing together is taking her toys and putting them under things, always supervising use of toys, always making sure that she's going to be successful, but having to kind of reach under to get her toy from under a dog bed is a really great way for her to, again, build confidence and have enrichment. I will have these toys and this special offer for you linked in the description below. Good job. Good job, good job, good job, good job, good job. Drop it. Yes. Get it. Yes. Good job. Good job. Drop it. Yes. Good job. And let's try it again. I'm just going to stand next to it. And she's kind of looking at me like, what do you want? I know you want me to do something. I'm thinking about it. Yes, good girl. We'll give her that. Here you go. We'll give her that. But I'm not going to continue rewarding until she has all 3 paws on. So I'm going to stand over here to kind of encourage her to get more on the bed. Yes. Good job. Yeah. So you'll notice there, she got all 4s on and I rewarded that. Yes, good girl. What we're doing here is very similar to my crate training process, which if you want to know more about how I crate train and potty train, comment below and I'd love to talk more about that. But what I'm doing is I'm making this place bed or place mat Disneyland. I want good things, yes, I want good things to happen while she remains on it, and I want her to start offering excitedly to be on the place mat or cue or whatever you're using. I think what I've learned most about the place cue is that the longer you take to move to the next level, the better your dog does at this. To be able to get our dogs to do that, the longer we spend on each stage of this, the better it is. So this is not one of those things, in my opinion, you want to rush. And what I mean by different levels or different stages is being able to take 2 steps away, being able to walk around the bed. Yes, good girl. I was pushing it a little bit there, but I'm trying to show, to be able to walk around it. Yes, good girl. To be able to leave the room and come back, to be able to be across the room. This is something that I would practice at least 2 sessions a day for 5 to 15 minutes each time, depending on your dog's age, attention span, how well they're getting it. Now, you may be wondering, how is this place cue going to help my dog stop jumping, barking, lunging, pulling on leash, counter surfing, chewing on things I don't want them to? And the answer is pretty simple. One, it's giving them a place to go where the rules are you can't bark, you can't jump up, you can't be chewing on something you shouldn't be. And you can even use this in public. Let's say your dog is a little reactive towards other dogs, or they want to bark at the squirrels while you're walking them. Yes. And you see a dog coming down a trail or a sidewalk, and you're worried about your dog's reaction and you can't quite get away quick enough. One thing you can do when your dog has a solid place is put them on a bench with them, right? And they're on leash, but have them go on the bench. You ask them for a PLACE, and then they understand black and white. When I'm on the place cue, whatever that object or item is, I can't be jumping and I need to be focused on mom or dad, just like Marlo is. Yes, and the reason they're gonna focus on you and not something else in most situations and cases is because you have reinforced the value of being in this position. This gives them something to focus on. This gives them a way and an outlet to expend that energy that's probably built up, whether that's negative energy, whether that's physical energy, whether that's stress energy. This gives them something to put their time and energy in, because most times dogs just need to have clear guidance, clear direction, and they want to know what they can do to please you. They need that from you and I, and this gives them that. The second way this helps with these unwanted behaviors is they are practicing impulse control, because right now, yes, her impulse was to follow me because I've got the treat pouch, but she's learning, yes, that if she does what I want her to do, which she's starting to make the connection that staying on this placemat, yes, is what I want, that she's going to get a reward. And acting on what I am guiding her or asking of her, yes, instead of just following what her innate desire or her innate want is in that moment, is getting her a reward. This is also a form of a brain game or enrichment, because the entire time she's on this, even if she's laying down calmly, she is thinking, she is working. Now I want to talk about leash skills. Marlo, free? So click the video right here and we'll jump over there and talk about how I've really helped my reactive dog not pull so much. Or if you want to learn more about my favorite foods for dogs, click the video right here. Everything I'm using, the bed, the treats, the treat pouch is all linked below. And don't forget to click that subscribe button. I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.